I'm your host, 5 minutes or less media review. Today we're not going to be doing like an ordinary review, which is going to be 5 minutes or so. If you want to know what I think about it, my overall rating is right there on top, 8 out of 10 rating, flat. I enjoyed the movie. A lot of things that were in the movie was great. The only parts that I had a problem with was the fifth chapter. I think it was the fifth chapter. Yes, it was the fifth chapter that I had a problem with because it was too weak. There was just so much lengthy stuff that I felt that could have been removed. It had to do with Superman being resurrected. A couple of other scenes that were just too weak. Superman fight, I think, was part of the whole. No, I don't think Superman's fight was part of it. I don't think so. No, I think it was part of the sixth. Listen, but everything leading up to the sixth, I just found to be, I don't know, drawn out, and it's just, I don't know, just it wasn't too relevant. I mean, let's just say it was the least enjoyed portion of the whole series. I think I like the colors in this one compared to the previous one. I liked the provision of so much information that gave meaning to a lot of the other contents that were just mishmash placed into separate areas in the previous one. I don't even know how they got there, but they got there anyway. And I'm glad that this one actually helped to enlighten me on what was going on. The good thing about this one is that it gives time for each character to be developed, especially the two characters that we didn't really understand. That was going to be Cyborg and Flash. These two characters were left out because they didn't have their own movie, right? But in this one, they gave them time to really put some meat on those bones, those like crusty bones that they gave to us last time. Right now, they gave us a lot of meat on this, which I appreciate, but I wanted more. What else? I think that they could have done without the last episode of the show, which was going to be the epilogue. I think they should have just removed that completely. There were a couple of slow motions that I saw in the overall this thing. Some of them could have been buttoned up a little bit, tightened up, just cut out. Some of them were just how would I say, prolonged a little bit. An instance would be where you have Flash running or Superman being injured, killed, or whatever it is. They should have just slowed, or they should have just removed a couple of those things out, and got some room, gotten some minutes out of those things. Yeah, but overall, I enjoyed this, and I can tell you this. If they removed it, if they provided it to us episode by episode, I would have loved it, in that manner. But sitting down 4 hours, I can tell you that by the 2 hour and I think 30 minutes or so, I barely even noticed that time was going. It's until we reached that fifth, this thing, that I started to look at my clock and say, okay, what's going on here? So after the fifth part, the sixth part came on when they had to go and do something, go and fight the dark side or so on and so forth, and boom, I just forgot all about it until the ending part where it was just Batman and Joker and so on and so forth. Joker was speaking to Batman. It just went on for days. There was just rubbish being said there. I wanted it off, So that part should have been removed totally. Personally, I don't know what Snyder was thinking about bringing that in, but he should have removed that. That was just slowing down the whole pace of everything, especially when we had just gone through that rush. Man, did you see that fight scene at the end? Booyah! It was crazy. I enjoyed it, and for him to give me that and then come and put in a lot of talk at the end, I was just like, nah. It's like being on a super ride, and then at the end of the day, they're trying to tell you to slow down, to get the end, instead of just giving me a full jolt. Stop, and then I move from there and say, you know what, I want some more, But no, he didn't do that. He came with the fast ride and then he slowed it down to a crawl. I just didn't enjoy it. So overall, I can tell you this: I really enjoyed this. I like where he was going with it, and I hope to see more. But unfortunately, we might not be able to see more. So that'll be it, guys. All right. So let us now get into my own review because I've ended with the 5 minutes or less review already. And let's just talk about, what this show was all about. I'm going to try my best to get into some of the meat and potatoes that I saw here that I really enjoyed. Well, here's the situation, okay? I'll be frank with you guys on this one. I was pissed with the previous version of this show, the Justice League. Let me not lie to you. The moment I watched that, I wanted 1 hour plus, or is it 2 hour plus movie? I wanted my life back after I watched that movie because it was just pure utter garbage. A couple of my own relations really enjoyed the movie. For me, I just like, no. I have a certain taste, and this movie barely met the minimum. So I was going to give it another chance. But with what was going on with the Snyder incident and people talking about this and that, and Snyder losing his daughter and Snyder leaving and people protesting, release the Snyder cut, I was like, you know what, you guys are just wasting your time. For me, I just said, you know what, this thing, the first one came from garbage. I think the rest will be garbage. But nope, now I have to bite my lip. Can you imagine that? I have to bite my lip now because now I understand, okay, there's some muscle being thrown around up there, and some people think that they know best. And I think personally that people should stop all this nonsense of, oh, a movie has to be 2 hours. Let me put it like this for you. A movie is all about entertainment, and if it can provide some kind of a message, let us see the full message. Stop trying to make a message fit within 2 hours. Who said that everything should be within 2 hours and 30 minutes or 2 hours and 50 minutes? Man, stop that. If a movie is created for 8 hours, let the movie be 8 hours. Let it be 8 hours of glory stuff, man. Yes, there's some places you can remove, but please, if it's 8 hour show that was a great show, then let it be so. Let's look at Star Trek. No, was it Star Trek or Star Wars? Star Wars, the first one, the first Star Wars. How long was that thing? I think it was almost 3 hours or so, or 4 hours. Man, I watch Star Wars: A New Hope every single time. I enjoyed that series, but it was a very lengthy one. But so what? I enjoyed it because the story is great. People don't care about the hours because the story is great, and I really hate it when corporations keep thinking that, oh, we have to have a certain formula and everybody has to abide by a certain formula because it's what gives us the most amount of money. I am tired of it. Okay? People cannot continue to say movies must not be more than 2 hours. No. If you give me trash in 2 hours, I'll demand my money back. Okay? So people, this thing needs to stop. The people have to start asking for better qualities. Okay? We need quality products to be shipped out for us in our entertainment. Sure. We might not have we might have time to waste, but that doesn't mean we should sit down and waste it on garbage. You understand what I'm saying? So I really enjoyed this. I think this should have been presented to us, so with the exception of certain parts that could have been cut out. But I think personally, if they had presented this to me, boom, I would have taken it and ran with it, because you have two of my favorite guys here that I really enjoy, and that is Superman and Batman. These are the two characters that I grew up with. These are the characters that are close to my heart. And you have these two characters, and you can even do them justice. You can't even do them justice by creating something good about it. But you know what? I think they did a fine job here. My only exception is that Batman. The thing about it is this. Christopher Nolan's Batman really got to me. The way Christopher Nolan's Batman would spread his wings and fly and do all of those like those as if he owns the air, with his cape. Those kind of things I really miss, and the Batman here was not doing that. The Batman was just mostly using his trusty gun and moving around. I don't like that. For instance, towards the end, when he was trying to escape those baddies, I would like for him to use his trusty gun, but then he will use his wings in such a way that he's gliding, like moving real fast. Like those kind of things I live for, but they didn't do him justice here. Also, I felt like Batman was just put to the corner on this one. I mean, he wasn't shown to be the bad guy. the badass guy he is. Every other person here knows who he is. I don't like everybody knowing who he is except Superman and maybe Wonder Woman. I don't like everybody knowing who he is. I want them to keep guessing, because a guy like him, who is dark, who is not afraid to put the bad guys in their place at any moment's notice, and also somebody like him who's always how would I put it now? He's a lunatic to some degree, that he always tries to find a weak point for almost every Justice League person in case one of them gets out of hand. He can put them in their place real quick. He's not somebody who's going to be there friendly with people. He's psychotic in some way. But this Batman looks like as if he's like the normal piece of Batman. And I personally don't think that that's really Batman. I think Batman is a psychotic person, just like the Joker. I think him and Joker are just two parts of the same coin. But enough of that. Let's get into the show. Let's talk about it. All right. So, what was the epilogue? Well, the thing about it is that when you look at the epilogue of what was going on in the epilogue, basically you can see that the main idea for it is to tie all the cubes together. The cubes, the mother cubes or whatever it is that came from another planet together. Oh, did I mention that it's going to be a spoiler review? Please understand it's going to be a spoiler review. Okay, guys, please. So if you haven't watched it, please leave. I should have said this in the beginning. There should have been a disclaimer. You should leave, please. I know it's already 11 minutes too late, but please leave. If you're part of those kind of people, if you've not watched it yet, please don't watch this yet. Pause it, go watch it for the 4 hours, and then come back, and then maybe we'll discuss this in the chat below. Yeah. So basically, the epilogues. The main purpose of the epilogue was to show the relationship between all the cubes, where the cubes are located, what's happening in the cube at a particular moment of Superman's death, and we don't even know what actually triggered those cubes to come on. But I do think that we know that to some degree there's some activation that may have occurred sometime in the show, later on down the show, or before even all of these things occurred. So I think in the creation of the Cyborg that may have triggered all of this. So yeah. Okay. So now here's the situation now. In the first episode, one of my biggest complaints in this show was the Amazonians. Okay? The Amazonians. Looking at what was presented to us, especially with them trying to close up the camp, or the safe area where they kept the cube. I felt that maybe where they kept the tube was to make sure that any evil that comes into that area cannot leave except through the front door. So basically that thing is constructed with some kind of a magical element that will prevent any evil that maybe drops in or creates a door to lose their own so-called magical ability. So maybe to cast a magical spell, or to even cast some kind of a dimensional doorway or whatever it is. I think that's what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be something that allows you to come in, but you can't get out except through the front door. So that's not what Snyder was selling to us. Okay, that's not what Snyder was selling to us, but I think it should have been what should have been said sometime in the movie, so at least we can get that understanding of why Wonder Woman's mother decided to close the gates, to make sure that nothing came through. Why she sacrificed all her people, because if the main purpose of that so-called shelter that was built, right? Remember, the Amazonians are close to the gods, so I'm thinking those areas were meant to hold people who have special abilities, or the powers of the gods, right? Different powers of the gods. So maybe it was designed to hold anything inside of it, so nothing can get out. And that's why they decided to sacrifice all those Amazons in order to close up that area and then send it down to the end of the sea, so that nothing can come out. So it was built so that if there was a situation whereby they couldn't handle the situation, it would drop to the bottom of the sea, and nobody would have access to it to open it up in any way, shape, or form. And I could buy that. I personally could have bought that. because without that, I don't see the justification for Wonder Woman's mother to sacrifice so many of her own people to get there. So personally, that was a no-no for me. You know, I liked the action scene of the Amazonians. Man, it was just great. It was mind-boggling. I really enjoyed that. They gave these ladies the time to shine. They gave them we understood their position in all of this. And you know, the thing about the nice thing about it is that we got to see the Amazonians fight a losing battle, and that was great. You know, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, why did they have to weaken the Amazonians?" They didn't weaken any Amazonians. Okay, they just showed you that this guy is far stronger than these ladies. Simple and short. This guy is a force not to be messed with. You know, but the one thing that really pissed me off is that they kept bringing back that whole scene. It was like as if Snyder created that whole scene to be something that what's this guy's name again? I forgot what his name was. Steppenwolf will always continue to use against Wonder Woman. I just didn't like it that every single time he had to bring it up. It is, you know, for me, if I was a warrior, I look at it as any idiot who had the audacity or the stupidity or is so dumb that they had to put themselves in my way as an obstacle, you know, which is just pure utter stupidity, then I don't give a crap about who you are. I'm gonna take you down and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So for me, as a conqueror, if I was in the mind of a conqueror, basically, anybody who comes to my to my view, within my view, who thinks that they can just stop me is gonna be in for a rude awakening. You know. And for me, if you ask anybody who's out there conquering or anything like that, or who has that conquering mindset, you find out that many of the time they look at it as it's just business. It's not personal. It's just business. You were in my way, so I got you out of the way. Okay, because I needed to get to here. That's how many of them think. You know what I'm saying? So, in my personal opinion, they shouldn't have continued to have Steppenwolf continue to jab at what's her name, Wonder Woman, all the time with that nonsense. It shouldn't have happened. There was even a conversation between Steppenwolf and Diana, whereby Steppenwolf was saying, hands off her, she's mine, right? And then instead of Diana to say, come on, come get some, or bang on her shield and say, let's ride. You know, something tough, that simply says, let's get this show on the road, man. I need some action. So stuff like that. She said, I don't belong to no man. I'm like, what kind of crap is that? After somebody said, come on, let go of her. She's mine. It means that for him, it's personal between, him and her now. You know what I'm saying? She's taking out some of his people. So he's saying, get out of the way. It's personal now. Me and you're going to have to fight. And the only word she could formulate at the back of her mind is, I don't belong to anybody. Like, what kind of crap is that? That just gave me some kind of a feminine vibe. And for me, it shouldn't even have been here at all. You know what I'm saying? This is war. And in war, all that kind of nonsense statement shouldn't even be there. So that was part of this thing that I just said, you know what? If Snyder had an opportunity, he should remove that statement. Let Diana say something else that makes her look like a badass. You know what I'm saying? Because the way she came in, she was a badass. And then when she did other things, man, I was like, yeah, you go, girl, do it. And then she comes back after Steppenwolf says that line, and then she comes back with that nonsense. I was like, please, give me a break, man. Stop that nonsense. So also in the scene, I'm also in that first part of the show. Some of the emotional connections they were trying to show for Diana and the people that she saved, and also the emotional scenes of Diana's mother and the dying Amazonians. I felt like they were not needed. They should have just made it look like Diana looking at the girl and just smiling, and then let them just cut it there. But they just prolonged it. It should have been cut. Secondly, with Diana and Diana's mother and the Amazonian that a horse was on top of her, I should have seen some anger on Diana's mother's face, because here is a battle where she lost about 50 people. I mean, we are talking about more than 50 people. You know what I'm saying? If I lost that amount of men under my command, no. You will not see one smile on my face until those souls have been avenged. I am telling you, you will not see one smile. You know what I'm saying? You will not see one, my face will not be flat. Everything I say past that time will be used in anger. My people just died here. How many of my people? No. I can't be cool and calm and collected like that, man. Not in the face of war. And the truth of the matter is, especially with the women, not in the face of war, especially if they've not had, situations like this where they had to lose a lot of sisters. I don't, no. Unless if there's some way that they can resurrect them, then yes, I will feel cool about it. But other than that, no. You're going to see anger in my face all the time. So for me, Diana's mother spending that much time to console a dying distant, I just think it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it at all. That scene wasn't worth it. They should have cut that scene short a little bit. Now, in the part 2 of the whole thing, basically we saw Diana's mother trying to use certain artifacts to send a message to Diana and to the rest of the world, to the worlds of men. And personally, I think that those things are very, very great. You see, for a very long time, even while I was trying to write the whole series of maybe the Justice League, my own self, what I thought it was, maybe just leave a diary or leave a page. I've written about maybe 10 pages plus of this stuff. I was happy that there's somebody else who had the same wavelength that was on the same wavelength that I was, which is believing in the artifact. I believe in the artifacts of the gods, the weapons of the gods. That's the weapon of Artemis, the bow of Artemis, or whatever it is. These kinds of things give power to certain heroes. And let me put it like this for you. For me, with Diana coming from the gods, this, that, and that, I think those are just rubbish. For me, it should have been about one thing. The island itself reduces the growth process of some of the ladies. I mean, after a certain age, right, the person stops aging. The aging process starts to reduce. Okay, so when you're young, the aging process is moving up, and then at a certain age, it should stop. That's what the land is. And for me, in my own thing, I'm not going to say it here, but certain things were done in order to give that land those properties. Do you understand what I'm saying? So here's the situation. The Amazonians now have certain artifacts within them, and only their own champions, women who have shown countless times through Olympian activities, okay, can actually achieve those artifacts. So someone like Wonder Woman is not somebody who was just born with these abilities. No, those abilities were handed to her. So her whip, her shoes, her gauntlets, her knife, her sword, whatever it is, these are gifts from the gods given to her, and through ritual situations, those gifts are imbued within her until she relinquishes her role, or the gods find that she has broken certain laws to take those properties away from her. So those properties are as a result of the equipment bestowed upon her. Those equipments are part and parcel of her the moment the ritual has taken place. So as a result of that, she owns those things, and those things cannot be taken away from her unless she breaks the rules of the certain gods. Okay, so that is how I believe Diana is, and Diana itself can be replaced if she chooses to relinquish her own position as maybe first prime of the Amazonians, or first champion of the Amazonians. And so that is how the Amazonians often have champions. Okay, so that is what I believe in. Those artifacts are what makes Diana who she is. Those artifacts are the same thing that the Amazonians do fight and can use in certain crucial periods. So that is one thing I really enjoyed, and I like that he is going with that same situation. I don't know, is it is it pointless for me to continue to write this? I think so, because when an information like this is already out there, then there are many other people who are also going to be thinking in that pattern. So I'm glad we're getting towards that, and hopefully somebody else will see it and simply say, okay, you know what, I'm in a position of authority, I can achieve this, I can get this. And with this show, with what this show has shown, I'm sure a lot of people are going to take note, because this story has really done a great job, in my personal opinion. The slow motions in itself, woof. Let's just put it like this, man. The slow motion with Otto Curry at the end where he was drinking, I think in the part 2 section of this whole show, could have been cut a little bit short. You know, maybe do a fast forward real quick or something like that during that whole shot. It would have been nice, but it shouldn't have gone on for as long as it did. I think Otto Curry should have been cut off a little bit, especially when he was drinking and the water was, flooding through, back and forth. The waves were going back and forth. I think that whole scene could have been cut off a little bit. However, I think that maybe the whole scene was trying to focus on his face. To say, okay, is this man worried about what's going on? Is this man worried about the people here who might still be acting in a reckless manner when he's away? Why is he not moving? Stuff like that. Things are happening. They've already informed Otto Curry, or I should call him Aquaman, about what is happening. And maybe that is lingering at the back of his mind, and God knows what's going on. So I feel that there was a reason for that scene, but it went on too long. Okay. Now, the story behind the mother boxes, I personally believe, should have been removed from this story entirely. About it being that Darkseid came down to the Earth and was trying to get some kind of antimatter equation, whatever, blah blah blah, and he brought the black boxes with him, and the Earth realm and the this realm and another realm came and forth. That's bullshit, man. I know he was trying to go through the Lord of the Rings mumbo jumbo on this one, but he should have just eliminated that totally, because when I saw that, I was like, oh goodness gracious, did he have to go and borrow something from the Lord of the Rings? No, he should have removed it entirely. He should have brought up a different story about it. Say for instance now, a creature came in from another world, came in from another world and dropped it with the humans, or dropped it with the Amazonians, or dropped it in different realms of the Earth, or maybe there are multiple boxes associated with the activation code for certain things or certain places, and those boxes were left in different areas of the world, and this person was forced to bring those 2 other boxes to come to the Earth. Okay, and he's looking for the 3rd one, and the 3rd one in itself will cause him to go through a series of things that are going to happen on Earth for him to achieve it, and then the Justice League will have to stop him where he's trying to activate the doorway to get Darkseid through. Okay, so let's just assume the box was the box came to Earth and it was scattered in pieces, in so many pieces, and certain people over the world were trying to use it for certain things, and so it fell upon Steppenwolf to gather all pieces of the boxes and put them together. And remember, each piece of the box has certain properties, right? So certain people were using them maybe for healing, or for this or for that, and as a result of that, Steppenwolf was really vicious in the way he was taking the people who were associated with those box pieces, and he was trying to assemble it together in order to assemble all 3 in order to create the pathway for Darkseid, right? So let's just assume that maybe in other words, when those boxes were scattered all over the different realms or different worlds or different universes, Steppenwolf has been going around gathering this thing, and he's been destroying so many other this thing in order to achieve the goal that Darkseid gave to him, right? So he's been destroying many worlds, and he's been putting all these boxes together, and then he comes to the Earth and he's bringing all these pieces, and as a result of that, other people are missing. You understand what I'm saying? So That for me would have been a better story than for him to come here and then there were three tribes or three worlds, they were all fighting, and as a result of that, they won and they had to divide the boxes. Man, no, it shouldn't have been like that. Or we could say each box presents certain abilities, and here Steppenwolf has been destroying many worlds in order to get all the pieces. He comes to Earth and he has a couple of pieces that he has to pick up from different places because different people have them and they're using the properties, and then he has only one box, and that one box allows him to do certain things, and they are trying to stop him from getting that box, for him to fully assemble the box and initiate a process that is going to lead to a cascade of other issues. So now, if it's going to be something that leads to a cascade of other issues, now we can understand, okay, dark side we want to also gather these boxes and also get the antimatter that may be on Earth, which they found, or maybe upon the full construction of the box, this other guy discovers there's dark matter here. Or maybe halfway through the construction of the box, he finds out that there's a dark matter in here because the box begins to activate, or begins to react, and as a result of that, gives him vision to see the antimatter, and upon full completion, every other thing started happening. You know what I'm saying? So. I think it would have been a better story that way rather than having all these stray boxes that other people are keeping and running around with. I think it would have been better that way. But anyway, we got what we got. I'm not going to kick it in the ass. Okay, so moving on. The part 3 part with the Cyborg. Let's just say Cyborg in itself. I like the way they went about bringing Cyborg in. Personally, with Cyborg, I can say this. There's a lot of problems with the Cyborg story, but I like what they were trying to do with the Cyborg. Okay, I think that let me just put it like this. I think that Cyborg needs his own show entirely. He needed his own show in order to flush him out properly, so that his story does not congest this Justice League story. You understand what I'm saying? I think he needed his own story so he doesn't congest the Justice League story. I think Justice League story could have been put in within 2 hours if we didn't have Cyborg story trying to be a part and parcel of this show, with Cyborg leading. Because there were just so many things that they added here for Cyborg to make Cyborg, for us to care about Cyborg. And I really cared about Cyborg. I did a phenomenal job about it, but I wanted to see what Cyborg was all about because his whole story looked very, very interesting. And let me put it like this for you guys, man. How do I put it? I could see the potential of it. I can see the potential of it. We can see him having problems with his father's absence. We can see that he helps others. I mean, it was said that he's helping others, especially with cheating and infiltrating certain computer networks in order to change grades. All these things were said. It was also shown, okay, that he liked football, but it was minuscule. Okay, very little. Okay, countless times his mother kept on saying that he has a good moral compass. His father said he has a good compass, but we don't see this except him giving a large stack of money to a woman who doesn't deserve it because she has a child and she's going through this thing. That's why we have to say, oh, she has a good moral compass. That's bullshit. Okay, we only see him do one good, but that good in itself was not deserved. It's not something that you give to somebody and just, that's not something somebody deserves. Okay, but I can say he did something good, but that doesn't mean he has a moral compass. All right. Basically, with everything that has been done. Okay, so basically they said he has a good moral compass. They showed him doing one good only. They said something about him helping a girl to change her grade, and the mother justifies that him changing her grade means that he was helping her. He could have helped her study better so that she can get a good grade. Why did he do that rather than going into the system to change her grade? I mean, that was just crap. And so many other things. For the father, for his own father to justify giving him all the abilities. You know? For me, I think a father will be thinking about me giving my own son a life, not an ability that makes him into a super freak. I wouldn't do that to my own child. But there must have been a reason why. And we don't know why his father really did that. Was that a wish that his son always wanted? Was that a wish that the son said, Daddy, I want to be able to hack into any computer I want to hack into? Did his father ever see him hacking into a computer and said, you know what, Dad, I wish it was much more easier? You know, stuff like that. We wanted to see what it was that made the father turn him into a cyborg. You know, but we didn't see that. I personally, I don't justify giving my son a bazooka just because he died, and now I have to bring him back to life. How do I know he's going to use the bazooka right? How many people do I know he's going to kill people with? I do not know. But why should I give him all these things? Because I want to bring him to life. I'd rather bring him to life knowing that he can function in a certain way, in a number, almost to a normal way, rather than giving him so much abilities that I'm not even sure he's ready for. You know, he's not even really a grown-up to say that he knows how to check his own emotions. God only knows what he will do with these things. You know? So what are some of the things that this kid has shown his own father that he could do that for his father to give to him? And for me, I think his father is a very reasonable guy because he's also a scientist. So I think to a certain degree he has a certain way of thinking about things. You know? Give me a reason why the father did all these things for him. I wanted to see it. And I think that maybe they would have done that, but as you can see, it's already 4 hours already, so it's going to be difficult. So for me personally, I think Cyborg needed his own show entirely for this. Okay. Now, we talk about okay. Now, let's talk about Lois Lane and Superman. Let's just say this. I personally was not happy with the only role they gave Lois Lane, and her role was this: to calm Superman down, to make Superman to stop fighting all the Justice League members. I think it shouldn't have been done in that manner. What I think should have been done was that the antimatter wasn't responsible, shouldn't be responsible for bringing Superman back, because we don't know who the hell he is. Okay, it shouldn't have been responsible. They should have taken what they did with the animation series, whereby he was sleeping for a good number of hours, and then he came back, right? So I would prefer to have that than to have what they did here with him. I would have preferred that. I would have preferred that it was just him waking up and him seeing this group of people that are acting a certain way, and now he's fighting them. Do you understand what I'm saying? He comes out and he looks around and he's like, who is this clown? Who's this clown looking at me? Who is this clown that is trying to talk to me? Who are you? I don't know whether you're a villain. I don't know who you are. Right? It would have been better like that. Like a group of people that just came out with super abilities and they're all staring him down, and then that fool named Cyborg fires at him and he's like, you know what, yo, it's on now. Let's go. Let's knuckle up. Let's do this. Now that would have been a better introduction. You see? So all these guys feel Superman's heartbeat, or they feel that Superman has awoken to some degree, or people are just lamenting on the streets, and somebody, you know, puts a camera on where Superman has opened up, you know, his grave or something like that. He's trying to step out of that place, and you know, what's his name again? These guys now come out and like say, you know, show up there like, oh man, Superman, we need your help. But none of them has really met Superman. You know? So let's just assume that this whole show happened before Superman met Diana, which it should have been. It should not. There shouldn't have been Batman Superman in between any of those things. Batman Superman should have been removed from the entire lineup. Okay, so he doesn't know any of these stupid characters. Okay, he doesn't know Arthur Curry, he doesn't know Batman, he doesn't know Diana, he doesn't know Cyborg, and the list goes on. He doesn't know them, and these clowns just show up talking to him. Okay, so if you watch this show, you will know that the story of Arthur Curry doesn't occur until after this series. So the show, the part of Arthur Curry now becoming king of Atlanta came after the Justice League came together. So for me, I would say it would have been better for Batman and Superman to come after the Justice League came together. Okay, or before Diana met Superman. It would have made more sense that way. For me personally, should have been the better part of this whole thing, because for me it would have given a good reason for Superman to fight all these people, rather than, oh, out of all these people, the only person he remembers is Lois Lane. Man, that was just crap. He should have dropped it right there. Shouldn't even have occurred. Okay? So personally, I think that part was weak, and it made me really angry. I like the fight, yes. Okay? I like the fight. But instead of it being Lois Lane that was there, it should have been his mother. I would prefer it to have been his mother, because that is the person that he would recognize quickly in all of this. Let's say you are fighting somebody, right? Even your own girlfriend, sometimes you just move past her. But your own mother, that for some reason, her scent, her structure, if you see it, even while you're going through certain things, you will immediately stop. Even if it's your own father's image that you see, for some reason you will stop. Something that's related to parents, something that you grew up with, even your own brother, your own sister, to some degree, you would react immediately. You know. So for me, I think it should have been his own mother, not the girlfriend he just met yesterday. You know. So I don't know. To each his own, but I'm just saying my own piece. I think the Flash needs his own movie. I didn't like what they did with the Flash here. I didn't like the situation whereby the Flash is looking like an emo character. You know, and the way the Flash runs in this show, it pisses me the hell off. He almost runs as if he's gay, you know, with his ass out. You know, but I do understand that I do understand that to some degree they were making the Flash to run in slow motion. So the Flash wasn't running in like a real fast way during this whole scene. He wasn't running in a real fast way. I think he was running in kind of a slow motion. So he was, you know, making his body move in a certain way that he thought he was running. But in real life, nobody will be running the way the Flash runs. You understand what I'm saying? So I personally believe that was what spoiled it here. But the Flash shouldn't have been running the way he's running. I pray that as they move forward, the Flash does not run in that manner. Okay? And secondly, the Flash's nature, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's needed. I think to some degree, yes, him being able to talk fast, that's nice, but for him to act, you know, soft like that, like you know, he's just a different light among everybody, because everybody else looks like a badass. I like the Flash to look like a badass, you know, not some jokester, you know, in as much as he talks fast. So yeah, the last part of the whole what do you call it again? Okay, so the suit, the Superman suit. Personally, I think that we should have gotten a good reason for why he picked the black suit. Now, if you watched the animation or you've read some of the comics, you understand that the black suit often gives him more access to the sun. So for me, I was thinking it was more about him trying to get some rays of sun while he gets to wherever he needs to get to. So the black suit was needed for him to generate enough sun energy to get back to full power. So they didn't really explain why he's taking the black suit, but it should have been provided, you know, to some degree. Only those who might have read the comic books or have the interior knowledge about this kind of things would know why he picked the black suit, but it was not said, it was just shown. So I don't know how much of that will people buy. Overall, I really enjoyed it. As you can see, 8 out of 10. The fifth part of the whole show was weak. The last part of the whole show was weak. I personally take that the direction in which Snyder was taking this whole show would have been nice. I like that alternative universe idea he was pitching. I like the idea that Superman loses a battle in some other world. We love all these things, you know, but this is not the right place to show it. I don't think action, how would I put it, live action Justice League is the right medium to use to give us that. I don't think so. It should be animated, you know, because with live medium, I don't think the characters are fit for that kind of storytelling, you know. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Batman never got enough screen time, in my personal opinion. Batman never showed why he's still the badass that he is. I just felt he was too soft here. He's growing soft. And overall, I enjoyed it. So, you know, let's continue this comment. Let's continue this conversation in the comments below. I think it's the best way to go. You know, anything that I said that you wish to fight against, or wish to talk against, or wish to, you know, just make some suggestions, or create an argument, or even provide a theory, I would gladly appreciate and hopefully engage with you in that conversation. So put the comments below, especially if you're on YouTube. Put the comments below. Let us have this conversation. So with that, I am your host and I'm signing out. Thank you for being here. All right, now take it easy. And for the viewer, I don't know who is viewing me, but hey, much appreciate you being here. All right, take it easy and stay blessed and remain safe. Peace.